Xbox Game Pass is bigger than ever, guys, and it features a host of online multiplayer and local co-op games that are just some of the best, and in this video we're going to check them all out. I'm Sonny, your host here at Xbox Central, and we kick this off with my favorite game on this entire list, and that's the game It Takes Two. Now this is the winner of the Game of the Year in 2021, so you guys know this is high quality. Here you and your co-partner play as Cody and May, a couple who's been magically transformed into dolls and taken away to an imaginative world that really tests the power of their love. It Takes Two really keeps things fresh with new gameplay mechanics at every single level in the game, from platforming challenges to puzzles that really give your brain a nice exercise. And speaking of puzzles, they are actually the heart and soul of the game and really require you both to work together and overcome various obstacles and challenges that can be really fun. This can range from simple tasks like boosting each other up to reach high platforms to a lot more complex puzzles that have both of you guys having to time your actions precisely to get through. And the game keeps tossing new gameplay tricks at you to really keep it fresh and exciting. It's almost like a never-ending roller coaster of fun and teamwork that'll keep you hooked from start to finish. And one positive thing I can say about this, if you have a gamer or someone who's not a gamer in your life and you really want to get them into a pretty cool experience, this is the game to do it. I ended up having a friend that never games and really enjoyed their time playing this, even though they're not even a gamer to begin with. So if you're looking for something really exciting, this is my go-to game. So the game Deep Rock Galactic I feel is a hidden gem. It's an insanely addicting co-op action shooter that puts you in the shoes of space dwarves on an epic adventure to mine minerals on a vast and fully destructible voxel planet while battling it out with hordes of crazy alien monsters that are really out for blood. Its multiplayer co-op gameplay really allows for you and your team with up to 4 players, each with the ability for you guys to pick your own unique class from a total of 4 different classes. There's the gunner, there's the scout, the driller, and then the engineer, and each of those classes comes with its own unique perks for a totally different playstyle. And while it's not the most innovative shooter that's going to be on this list, I have to say it's a satisfying one to share with your friends or even total strangers. Now if you're a Minecraft fan and you're looking for like maybe a dungeon crawling adventure, I think Minecraft Dungeons might be that perfect game with you and your friends. In Dungeons, you get to team up with up to 3 friends online for some pretty epic co-op fun and of course the familiar world of Minecraft. But unlike the original, you're not going to be crafting, mining, or building. This is more about delving into challenging dungeons and fighting hordes of evil monsters using unique artifacts, gear, and enhancements, which all give you special attacks to really wreck mobs and survive. The story might not be the most intriguing part of this game, but I think it's a decent one. However, the gameplay is where this really shines the brightest. The game keeps you and your friends busy finding cool loot, discovering enchantments, and uncovering secret areas, which can be really easy to miss on the first go, so you will definitely be wanting to come back for more. It does have its cons, but it's definitely a great option for players who like dungeon crawling and like Minecraft all in one single package and are looking for that multiplayer fix. Now the next game on this list takes the simple act of cooking and turns it into a hilarious, heart-pounding, and incredibly fun cooperative experience, and that game is Overcooked 2, a super hectic co-op cooking game that puts you and your friends into the shoes of chefs, and you're all working in some of the most outrageously chaotic kitchens. And your mission here is to prepare a variety of dishes while navigating obstacles and adapting to ever-changing kitchen layouts. It's a game that's really easy to pick up for beginners, mostly because there's only about 3 buttons in total, but the challenge, guys, is real and the mastery takes some serious coordination. What makes Overcooked 2 shine is its ability to test your communication and teamwork skills. You'll find yourself shouting instructions and strategizing and laughing at the hilarious mishaps that occur in the heat of the kitchen, and maybe even screaming at each other and getting mad, because that is literally what's happened to me. So if you're looking for a game to enjoy with your friends or family, either online or offline with local co-op, or you're looking to get mad at your family, I think this is a recipe here for success. Our next game is truly a unique co-op adventure game in Grounded that shrinks you down to half the size of an ant, and it puts you up against a massive backyard world. Now the story unfolds as you figure out how you got tiny and how to get back to normal. Luckily, you're not going to be alone. Grounded lets you team up with 3 other buddies online in an epic adventure, and the game lets you battle these giant insects found everywhere from the pond to termite dens, but you can control where they go using special devices, and you also get to tailor your character's abilities with mutations and milk molars to survive this ever-changing landscape of horrors. Now combat can be a little tricky at first, but once you get the hang of it, you'll be slaying these bugs like a pro. This is a great game to put down on your list if you have an active Game Pass subscription and you're looking to play with some buddies online in a pretty unique survival game. If you're looking looking for that unforgettable co-op experience, I think the game A Way Out is the best one. You can play this game in split screen or online co-op mode with a friend, and you and your partner take control of two prisoners, Vincent and Leo, who embark on an epic adventure to break out of prison. And for that, you're going to need to solve some challenging puzzles. You're going to have to come up with some daring escape plans, and you're going to have to face some very time-sensitive challenges head-on. Each character, Leo and Vincent, brings their own unique backstory and motivations and skills to the table to help them get out of sticky situations, and these differences really influence how you approach different situations and how you crack the puzzles. It's easily one of the best two-player co-op games you can play right now on Game Pass, and one of my favorite ones on this list. Forza Horizon 5 is one of the best open-world racing games that exist. While the game is primarily known for its single-player racing, it also comes packed with an impressive co-op mode that already takes this beloved franchise to new heights. You get to hop behind the wheel of a crazy variety of cars and race through an open world filled with stunning landscapes, from jungles to city streets to desert dunes. Unlike the previous games, Forza Horizon 5 lets you team up with your buddies or join strangers online, and that's what makes this game fun with a ton of other people. You can work together to take on challenging tasks or create and share your own custom events for an endless co-op fun. And then there's the Horizon Open mode that lets you race alongside 72 other players in a shared world, cruising around Mexico, meeting new people, racing in random events, and just soaking in up the racing vibes together. If you want to take a break from all the chaos and enjoy some relaxing farming adventure with your friends, Stardew Valley is the perfect game. It's cozy, it's a pixelated haven for anyone who's ever dreamed of leaving the hustle and bustle of a city to become a farmer. The game's single player experience is obviously already loved by millions, but when it comes to the co-op gameplay, it's really a whole new level of fun and collaboration. You can team up with your friends online or work on the farm together, and this means that all the daily chores and tasks become a shared adventure. You can really divvy up the responsibilities, like one person may be tending to the crops while the other one takes care of the animals. But it's not all about farming. You can participate in town events and explore the mines for precious resources, and even attend festivals together. This game's really all about that pacing, and it's a relaxing one, and there's really a sense of joy in watching your farm grow and flourish over time, especially with a friend or friends. But if being a farmer isn't your thing, how about living the life of a pirate? Well, Sea of Thieves lets you do that and much more. This open world action adventure game lets you and your mates become the crew of a pirate gang. Explore the depths of the open sea for treasure, battle it out with other pirates, maybe craft makeshift weapons, and do all the fun pirate things that you could pretty much imagine. Sea of Thieves is all about coordinating with your crew, whether it's steering the ship, raising the sails, firing the cannons, setting up the defenses, navigating through storms, or raiding an island full of skeletons. The combat in this game, though, is relatively simple but highly skill-based. You also have an access to a wide variety of weapons, from pistols to cannons to even swords, each offering a unique combat experience. And if you're looking for a break from the traditional battle royale games and you want a unique multiplayer experience, I think Sea of Thieves could be a great game for you and your buddies. Now, the game Valheim has been the best indie survival game of all time, and that's for a few reasons. The game combines the best elements of exploration, crafting, and combat in a Viking-inspired world, and you start as a fallen Viking warrior in a mysterious afterlife where you must explore a vast and procedurally generated world. Now, your objective, like in any other survival game, is to build, craft, and survive, and you can gather resources, build structures, and even craft the Viking ships to explore the diverse landscapes. However, what sets Valheim apart from other multiplayer survival games is the emphasis on cooperative play. The game allows you to team up with friends or other players to tackle challenges and build a thriving Viking community. Whether you're hunting colossal monsters together, you're exploring hidden dungeons, or constructing grand fortresses, doing it all with your friends really makes the experience much more fun and memorable, and I can attest to this because I've done it myself, and it is just a blast. But what really made this game the most fun was the boss battles. These really make co-op a necessity, as these encounters require some serious teamwork and strategy, and guys, they were just epic fights. Since we're talking about survival games, I think it's fair to put Ark on this list. Ark Survival Evolved takes you on a thrilling expedition into an untamed, prehistoric world full of gigantic dinosaurs and mythical beasts. This game drops you into the shoes of survivors stranded naked, freezing, and starving on a mysterious island called Ark, and it's one heck of a journey that you can either take on solo, or you can go ahead and find a trusted group of friends. Ark lets you team up with other players. You can form tribes and share tames and work together to conquer the challenges of this entire island, and let me tell you, it's a deadly island full of some crazy stuff. You can tag along with players locally as well, or go online to make survival even easier for everyone. And I love that this game offers endless replayability by letting you create your own own procedurally generated arcs. The game supports mods and player-hosted servers, allowing you really to tweak the experience to your own liking, and it's just another great option for someone who wants to play with dinosaurs in a sandbox game. Now, there's a good chance you've already played the game Dead by Daylight, but if you haven't, now might be a good time to give this a shot on Game Pass. In this isometric horror game, one of the players takes control of this relentless killer, and the other steps into the shoes of the survivors, and they're trying to escape certain death. The premise of this game is pretty simple. The killer's mission is to hunt down and capture the survivors, while the survivors have to work together to repair generators and outsmart this relentless killer and escape. Both the killer and the survivors can choose from a variety of popular characters inspired by movies and TV shows, and each of those have their own unique abilities, perks, and playstyles, really adding a lot of elements of strategy to the game. Now, what makes Dead by Daylight more exciting are the procedurally generated maps and the diverse horror-themed settings that really keeps the gameplay fresh, ensuring really that no two matches are ever alike. You can play this game with your friends online and team up together to try to survive against a killer, and you can really have a ton of fun. And I would know I have over 500 hours in this game. To this day, this game is still one of my most fun games to play, and if you're looking for that multiplayer fix, this is a great one. Now, if Dead by Daylight is just not horrifying enough for you and your friends, I bet the game Texas Chainsaw Massacre will do the trick. It's yet another isometrical horror game that draws inspiration from the chilling 1974 classic of the same name, where you get to play the role of a member of the notorious Slaughter family or one of their helpless victims. And if you're on the victim side, you'll be scavenging for tools and resources as you navigate this nightmarishly dark environment and you try to find your way out. Now, as the hunter, your mission is as sinister as it's gonna get. You're gonna track down and eliminate your terrified guest using an arsenal of deadly weapons and gruesome execution methods before they slip away. It's an amazing horror game, but let's make this clear, this game's not gonna be for everyone, especially not for the faint of heart. It's a hardcore horror survival experience with absolutely no hand-holding. You're gonna be on your own, and it's up to you to piece together the puzzle to find your way out. So Back 4 Blood's one of those mindless shooters that's just insanely fun, and it's an absolute blast when it comes to the multiplayer co-op gaming side of it. It's that rare gem that keeps you and your friends entertained for hours on end, and it's all thanks to the game's incredibly satisfying gore-filled combat that lets you slay hordes of zombies, or ridden as they say, using a variety of deadly arsenal at your disposal. Now, with a plethora of level challenges, mutation varieties, and gruesome zombies, Back 4 Blood offers plenty to keep you satisfied, especially when you're playing online with your friends. And while the game lets you fly solo, it's no Left 4 Dead that many were hoping for when this first came out. But if you are down for some action-packed shooting with your friends, this is by far one of the best options to go with. As we're talking about gore-filled shooters, I think it's worth mentioning a game that a lot of us love, one of my personal favorites, and that's Gears of War, especially Gears of War 4. This is a great co-op adventure that's all about this over-the-top action, irreverent humor, and blasting your way through hordes of enemies with your buddies by your side. In Gears of War 4, we have a new generation of monster hunters, but these folks don't take themselves too seriously. They face an entire army of monsters and robots and act like it's just another day at the office. And while the story mode is a great solo experience, it's even better when you team up with your friends. Co-op is where the game really truly shines, in my opinion. You and your buddies can really tackle the campaign together locally or online and really have a ton of fun. Now, the game Gotham Knights had a rough start because a lot of us were expecting kind of like another Arkham game, and well, we were all kind of disappointed. But that doesn't mean Gotham Knights is any less fun. In this game, you and your friends step into the shoes of the Bat family to protect Gotham City. With Batman now gone, it's up to Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Robin to bring hope to the citizens, discipline to the cops, and fear to the criminals. And I really dig the combat. Even though it's different from Arkham's free flow system, it's still pretty fun and responsive, especially combined with the game's awesome gear system and character customization that lets you tailor the combat experience according to your own playstyle. It's certainly a different experience without Batman, but one that I really think is worth trying with your friends. Now, if you're looking for a more hilarious co-op experience to share a few genuine laughs with your friends and family, Gang Beasts might be that game for you. It's an absolute riot of a party game that's all about chaotic brawling and hilarious physics. You have these cute, squishy characters with wobbly limbs, and you toss them into these wacky, wild environments, and well, your mission, hurl your buddies off platforms or run them into all sorts of crazy hazards just for fun. What's awesome about Gang Beasts is how simple it is. You can grab a controller and within moments you're punching your buddies, you're throwing them off these high platforms, or you're smashing them with an arsenal of fun tools. And while it's fun to play in the same room with your buds, Gang Beasts also lets you take the brawling online if you want. You can go toe-to-toe with players from all over the globe. The game offers both competitive and cooperative modes, so you can team up or take them on solo. So we have another another gritty co-op shooter in Warhammer 40k Darktide, and the game takes you back to the gritty Warhammer universe, but at least now you have friends to rely on. Set in the hive city of Terratium, the game lets you and your friends take control of soldiers set to investigate strange occurrences and of course eliminate any threats in your way. It's like a dark sci-fi dungeon crawl with hordes of enemies lurking around every single corner, and Darktide's gameplay is all about working together. You and your buddies can choose from different classes, each with their own unique abilities and skills that help you take on waves of enemies, including of course the deadly Nurgle forces. If you guys are a fan of the Warhammer franchise and you're looking for an epic co-op gameplay, or you simply just want to mow down hordes of enemies in gorgeous lush graphics that you'll find some of the best you'll find on Xbox Series X and S, Darktide is definitely one worth putting on your list. So the game Figment to Creed Valley is one of the more innovative co-op adventures on this list and definitely one of the more unique ones. And when we talk about co-op gameplay, usually we're thinking of like players coming together to support each other in completing quests, fighting epic battles, or escaping monsters with equal importance given to each player, but not really in Figment 2. In this game, one of the players takes the role of the main character Dusty and the other plays as the sidekick named Piper. Now the two of you are going to embark on an adventure through an imaginative human mind, battling inner demons and nightmares. Now as the main player, you can do all sorts of things from fighting monsters to solving puzzles, while your sidekick could kind of only help you maybe spot enemies and pick items scattered throughout the map without taking or doing any damage to the enemies. So this game's kind of like perfect for parents to kind of share with their children who don't really know how to do too much and you just want them to play with you and kind of have a fun time. They don't really have to know anything, just move around and watch for the enemies and support maybe the main player as they take on the challenging bosses and progress through the game. Alright, so one of my absolute favorite games on this list is LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga, and it's, guys, the ultimate Star Wars gaming jam that packs all 9 mainland movies into one fantastic adventure. But the best part is that you can share this epic adventure with one of your friends in couch co-op mode. Now even though it's the LEGO version of Star Wars, guys, don't be fooled. This game is full of surprising details and hidden surprises that you can find within every nook and cranny, bursting with Star Wars lore and vibe. And while I personally have really only played this game solo, the game is equally, if not even more fun to have a friend tag along to solve the puzzles, tackle the side quests, or just mess around together as both of you explore the iconic Star Wars locations and artifacts. Surprisingly, there is no online co-op, so you do need to be playing in the same room with that split screen co-op action, but just like in previous games in the series, I definitely think this is worth experiencing. So if you've experienced the joy of playing It Takes Two and you're craving more of that same thrilling co-op adventure, Unravel 2 is here to offer that perfect dose of couch co-op fun. In this charming puzzle game, you control 2 yarn characters who are connected by a bond of friendship, and each character has their own unique abilities and skills that they can use to tackle tricky obstacles and swing across gaps and dodge all sorts of dangers in this ever-changing world. Now this is the kind of game that'll keep you and your partner on your toes as you both have to figure out a way out together, and I really dig the whole colorful vibe of this game that really makes the journey more pleasant and immersive. It's super easy to pick up for a beginner, so really anyone can play without any prior gaming experience, which makes it a great choice for a couple of people who are looking for a fun game together. Of course, it's still equally challenging, and I really think it's going to keep you guys hooked for many hours. Now I'm going to add the controversial Redfall to this list. Don't kill me in the comments. The game's infamously launched to only 30 FPS and it had all sorts of bad reviews, but since the game released there has been some major patches that have cleaned the game up quite a bit. Now for those who are unfamiliar with this game, it's a co-op first-person shooter where you can team up with your fellow vampire slayers to hunt vampires in an island that's been completely overrun. Your job's to liberate the area, and the game has loot and it's got different classes and builds that you can customize, and the gameplay is really just taking out these vicious creatures, and guys, there's a plethora of boss fights for you guys to loot and collect. Now the difference since launch is that there's now 60 FPS on Xbox consoles. Before it was only 30, and I think this is key, and it is what was, I think, the biggest issue with the game and what made the game a little unplayable before. But guys, they really cleaned up a lot of the bugs, and overall I'd say it's a lot more polished and it's a solid title. It's also a pretty fun one to play if you can find some buddies to play with online, though I will say the end game does get a little repetitive. But if you're looking for a newer game on this list, I don't think this is a bad one to dive into. It's an Xbox exclusive, and I feel it's only going to get better with time. Our last game on this list is the Halo Master Chief Collection, the ultimate package that comes packed with 6 Halo games. The best part is, guys, you can play a lot of these here locally with your buddy using split screen mode. You and your friends can step into the armored boots of Master Chief and Cortana, embarking on epic journeys across the Halo universe. Whether you're taking on the Covenant in Combat Evolved or you're battling the Prometheans in Halo 4, the co-op campaign experience is totally worth it. The developers have done a great job with this game. Everything from the graphics quality quality to performance I think is top notch, and it really makes the split screen experience all the more thrilling. But that's not all. You can dive into multiplayer mode, where you can find all the classic maps and modes, including the famous Forge mode that lets you and your partner craft your own battlegrounds. And the best part is you can do all of this from the same couch, just like the good old days. But just in case you guys don't have enough games and you want even more games to find, I have a list of the best Game Pass games available, so check out that video on the screen.